TBEX CEO, Rick Calvert.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. Did you all have a good time at TBEX this week? I'm pretty sure you had a better time than that. Did you all have a good time at TBEX this week? That's much better, thank you. I know you're tired because I know they're running you ragged. We got a couple of housekeeping notes and I'm going to get into a couple other things, people that we want to thank. First of all, speakers, the bus leaves here at 6 to take you back to the speaker hotel. Everybody else, the closing party will be at the Tabacalera. It's one of the biggest buildings in the city. You've probably seen it wandering around. It's just a short walk from here. Starts at 7:30. There's only going to be what they tell me are sweet pinchos for food. So you want to get a bite to eat before you go because there will be lots of alcohol. Okay? And we'll be at the top of the Tabacalera. We have a view of the entire city. It's amazing indoor, outdoor space. So hopefully I will see you all there. I have a lot of people to thank that make TBEX happen. First of all, our speakers. Please stand up if you could. Come on. Please thank them. Amazing job, everyone, except for Melvin causing trouble. No, thank you, Melvin. I'm getting there. You're going to spoil the surprise. All right, let's all say happy birthday, Kerwin. How many TBEXs have you been to now, Kerwin? 18. That's how old Kerwin is. Thank you, Kerwin. We love you, man. All right. To our staff, Patty, Donna, Leslie, Pat, Tamiko, Chris Mitchell, Chris Lau, our new video conference director. Everybody, please, TJ also helping in Reg this time. Please give them a big round of applause. They work really, really hard. Thank you. Most of them have been with us for a really, really long time. Tamiko, what was your first TBEX?
Minnesota.
Minnesota? And you were a newbie.
I was a newbie. I hadn't even started a vlog yet.
Yeah. And I know Chris mentioned Jerusalem several times, that he was a newbie. He actually came to TBEX in 2012 in Toronto. He was even more of a newbie then, but it was really like Israel before he started, really kicking it into gear. So you'll see people here that have just progressed throughout their creator career. And I heard Anton today. We love Anton. He's given many, many talks here. One of the OGs. So give it up for Anton again. And why do you say the Philippines is the social media capital of the world? Put you on the spot. You're just representing?
No, there's really a lot of engagement.
Yeah, I know the Filipinos really go crazy for social media, I know. So anyway, I'm going to introduce a new word because I heard you say over and over and over today, travel bloggers, travel bloggers, travel bloggers. I think the new word is travel creators. We're way more than bloggers now, right? If somebody's calling you say I'm a blogger, then they've got a website, they've got a blog, or they're probably pretty old, like me. Yeah. So, travel creators. I think that's the word we should use. I agree with Melvin. I don't agree with everything Melvin says, but I agree with Melvin that influencer is just not a good word. I never thought of myself as an influencer. I don't know if any of you think of yourself as an influencer. Yeah, maybe you influence people, hopefully, to make decisions, but really, you're helping people. You're giving them advice. You're helping them figure out where do they want to go for their next dream trip of a lifetime. Everybody in this room is unbelievably fortunate and privileged, right? To be in this industry of travel. And other people look to us on where should they go, what's safe, what's going to be fun, where are they going to get the experiences that they want to enrich their lives. So, you are creators, all right? And there's a concept I've been thinking about in my head, and I think I'm going to talk about this more in Puerto Rico. All good things come from creators. And that's you guys. So give yourselves a big round of applause, all right? All right. We're going to thank some sponsors, because without them, it wouldn't happen. So thank you very much to Basque Tour and Tour España, our host. Thank you so much. This is an amazing place, magical place. The culture is incredible, the food is incredible, the people are incredible, and natural beauty, unbelievable. What an amazing place. Thank you so much. Travel Payouts, our Emerald sponsor, the presenting sponsor for the first ever Travel Creator Awards in Puerto Rico, July 9 through 12. Give them a big round of applause. Huge supporters of travel creators. We appreciate them so much. Peloponnese, where we had a raging closing party last year. For those of you that were there, that set the bar. So we'll see what happens tonight. Quebec, Mind House, Donegal, Puerto Rico, Visit Anchorage. Thank you so much. We appreciate all that you do for us. Donostia, San Sebastian, Stay 22, Incartu, and this one that's killing everybody. Oran, is Eloisa here? No, she ditched me. Oran, Gipazakoa. Thank you. Thank you to all of our sponsors. Please give them a huge round of applause. These are the companies that support creators. So support them when you can. All right? Okay. All of that said, I'm going to get to our last. First, we have 2 more events coming up this year. In July 9 through 12, we're going to be in Puerto Rico. Again, the first ever Travel Creator Awards. Please welcome Astrid from Discover Puerto Rico to the stage. She's going to tell us a little bit more about it. Right here.
Hi everyone, good afternoon. Muy buenas tardes a todos y todas. Like Rick mentioned, my name is Astrid and I am Discover Puerto Rico's social media manager. Discover Puerto Rico is our island's destination marketing organization, and I am here on stage for 2 very special reasons. The first one is that we wanted to let you know how excited and how thrilled we are to be welcoming you all, welcoming TBEX North America 2024 for the very first time on our island, like Rick mentioned, from July 9th to the 12th, okay? And I've met some of you who are coming, who already registered, which makes me super happy. And the thing that I want to let you know for all those who are coming and all those who are interested in visiting our beautiful island, remember when you visit us to live Boricua. Has anyone heard that word before? No? Yes? So Boricua is the word that Puerto Ricans use to identify a person from Puerto Rico. So you're Puerto Rican either by birth or by descent. So if you have any of those two, you're a Boricua. And when we tell you to live Boricua, this is an invitation so that when you visit Puerto Rico, you live Boricua. You live it and you experience it like a local, okay? So we want you to go to our traditional, delicious gastronomic gems. We want you to enjoy the natural attractions that you can only find in Puerto Rico. And of course, as the rum capital of the world, we want you to party like a Boricua. So now to the second reason why I'm here. I'm going to show you a little glimpse, a little taste, a teaser of what you can expect from your visit to Puerto Rico. If you have any questions about your trip or if you want to learn more about our island in general, you can come to me. Here is also Emma Rosado, my colleague from Discover Puerto Rico, and we're going to answer all of your questions. Other Puerto Ricans that visit us, Backpacking Luis, a content creator, and Will from Mochileando. So if you have any questions, come to us, and well, nothing left to say, but see you soon in paradise and enjoy the video.
Thank you, Astrid. So I hope you guys can join us July 9 through 12 in Puerto Rico. It will be amazing, I promise. The guys from Mochileando are over here. They're people you can look to, kind of like Eloisa, who was here this week. It was so helpful for everybody. They know everything about Puerto Rico. They will give you the insider tips. There's a couple other people there that I recommend. Isle Caribe, you know them, yeah? This lady gave us a walking tour in Ponce. It was incredible. She's like a walking encyclopedia about Puerto Rico. She's just amazing creator. And a couple of guys who have a tour company called Westside Destinations. Just two guys in a van, and they're the coolest guys I've spent a time with in a long time as tour operators. So check those people out. And in September of 23 to 26, we have another amazing event this year. We will be in Anchorage, Alaska, which is a dream destination for a lot of people. It's definitely one for me. I got to go several months ago. David will probably talk about a few more statistics. I'll bring them up here in a minute. One of the things that stuck out in my mind, Wisconsin, I think, is a land of 10,000 lakes. Alaska has 2 million lakes. 3 million lakes, 2 million rivers. 3 million lakes? 100,000 rivers. Oh, only 100,000 rivers. 100,000 rivers, 3 million lakes, and David said they only count the big ones, which is, it's just mind-blowingly huge. It's like the Grand Canyon. It's a place you think of, you know it's amazing, but when you get there, you're like, oh, it's even bigger than I thought. So with that said, let's welcome Senior VP of Sales to the stage from Visit Anchorage, David Kasser. There you go, David. Should be on.
Thank you, Rick. I'm going to go ahead and have you roll the video, and then I'll talk after that.
I think being connected to big, wide open spaces does change the way I feel. It just makes you feel more free somehow, and more alive, and more able to be who I want to be, and able to accept others for who they want to be and who they are. I think that living in Alaska has changed me quite a bit. Kind of lose that self-inhibition. You know, you just live more simply. It feels really good. It's a nice way to live.
I dub him Little Raj Mahal.
People are not stopping. There's background noise all the time. You get so involved with your daily grind and getting from here to there and logistics of things. And I think when you do stop and you go outside and you listen, I mean, people have profound experiences in the woods just listening and just hearing the quiet. And And I just think that wilderness has this intrinsic value within all of us. It means it brings us back to a place that even for some people who've never experienced wilderness, it almost feels like they've gone back in time to some place that they've been before, but they can't quite put their finger on it.
Is an image just south of Anchorage, or actually you're still in the Anchorage city limits. This is on the Turnagain Arm with the Chugach Mountains on our left and the Kenai Range of mountains, one of 6 mountain ranges you can see from Anchorage. We didn't talk about how many mountains there were, but there are 49 mountain ranges in Alaska. The 4 largest, the Brooks Range to the north is considered one of the oldest mountain ranges on the planet, while the Chugach to the south is the youngest, and the Chugach Range is about 1,000 kilometers east to west. So it's this vast, vast place. If you take Alaska and you spread it over the rest of the United States, scale to scale, it stretches from Georgia to California and all the way to the Canadian border. 3 million lakes, 100,000 rivers, 100,000 glaciers, but only 6 roads. And for that reason, we travel all across Alaska in a million different ways, by boat, by plane, by helicopter, by dog sled, by snowmobile, or what some people might call snow machine. And it's this vast natural place. Anchorage itself is the largest city in the United States in overall area, and we have 2,000 moose and 36 grizzly bear that live right in the city itself. So it is a really diverse place. We have 100 languages spoken in our schools, the 4 most diverse high schools, junior high, and elementary schools in the entire United States are not in LA, they're not in New Jersey, they're in Anchorage, Alaska. So that informs our culinary. We have diverse food offerings. We grow our own vegetables. How big do you think the pumpkin was at the Alaska State Fair, the one that won this last fall? Over 2,000 pounds. 100-day growing season, 24 hours of daylight, things just grow to monstrous proportions. So it's a really fantastic place to discover. We're super excited to have you all come. Heather and Marlene are right down here. They've been taking appointments with all of you. We've got a few of our big statewide maps still left, but they've been flying off as people are getting excited to make their plans for September. Leslie came up and she got all kinds of great adventures that she was able to capture, so you'll be seeing images of that. Thank you so much, Rick, for choosing Anchorage. Thank you to the folks here in Basque Country. My father's actually Basque, but I'd never been here, so that was great, and we're looking forward to Puerto Rico. So thanks so much, everybody.
Thank you, David. Thank you very much. So we hope you can join us in Puerto Rico in September. I mentioned to Ian at lunch, I'll give you a little shout out. Ian, somebody was in his session and gave him a business card, said he was with a startup, and he lost your card. So if you're here, get Ian your card, because he did want to talk to you. We had a little contest when you're out there tagging posts with TBEX Basque Country, kind of stuff that you saw and tasted here in the city, and I have a winner for you, is Fancy Nancita. Nancista, are you here? There she is, right here. So you get a free pass to next upcoming event. So congratulations. Congratulations, Nancy. And we'll email you the details and get you all set up with that, okay? And then Chris Lau, again, I wanted to mention him as well, and some of our video track speakers that were here this week, Menet, Ryan, Surya, please stand up, you guys. These guys are some of the monsters of video creation in the world right now. And we will do more video at upcoming TBEXs, so I encourage you to support them and just understand what an amazing amount of skills and experience and talent that they're bringing to the event. So please take advantage of that, all right? Okay, without further ado, David, when's the first time you came to TBEX? Yeah, you. Sorry. 2010. So you were at the second TBEX ever. Yeah, TBEX started in 2009. For a lot of you who are completely new, you wouldn't know that a woman named Kim Mance sent an email to 6 people in 2009. You were there? Wow. So anybody else there in 2009? Chris Christensen, are you in here? Yeah, in the back. So Chris, you've been 20, how many times? 26 times. So Kim sent an email to 6 people, said, I know you're coming to town for Blog Her, which is Mommy Blogger Conference way from back in the day, and it was going to be in Chicago that year, and she said, why don't you come a little bit early? I got a big house. You can all stay with me, and we'll talk about travel blogging for a couple of days. 150 people signed up to come. So she called the Chicago Tourist Board, and she said, I have 150 travel bloggers coming, and they can't all stay at my house. So do you have a space for us where we could do something? And at the end of that event, somebody said, when's the next one? And that's how TBEX was born. So, and here we are today. So it's a pretty amazing thing. David, you've been there since the very beginning. And David will be our moderator today. Please welcome David Farley. He spoke at TBEX many, many times, given lots of workshops. Come on up, David. And then we have 3 amazing creators joining our panel this afternoon. Andrew Dobson, I know some of you saw his session. Come on up, Andrew. Who's been on a month-long trip at luxury hotels leading up to this event. But you said it took you a year to plan that, right?
It takes some time, yeah.
Yeah. So welcome, Andrew Dobson. Jarryd Salem here all the way from Australia. Jarryd, thank you so much. It's great to have you back. And Nour Brahimi. Please welcome her up. I saw a little bit of Nour's session. It was amazing. As you can see, Nour is quite popular. And I will leave it to you. Thank you so much, David.
Thanks. This one is, oh, it's on. Hi, everyone. Another big thanks to Rick and the TBEX staff for putting on another seamless, perfect conference this year. It's amazing. I just want to quickly further introduce the speakers, and then I won't waste your time anymore. So we have, I kind of feel like this is a game show and they're the contestants or something. Andrew Dobson launched his food and travel blog, Dauber Nation Loves, in 2006, and will have visited 100 countries by the end of the year. Andrew has acted as an ambassador for brands like DK Eyewitness Travel, Air Canada, Marriott Bonvoy, and Absolute Vodka. He specializes in writing luxury hotel stories, culinary tourism guides, and developing regional recipes for readers to cook at home. Everyone welcome Andrew Dobson. All right, Jarryd Salem, Salem, right? All right. Jarryd Salem is the co-founder of Australia's largest travel blog, Nomadasaurus. The managing director of the digital marketing agency Peak Evolution Media and runs tours to Antarctica, Central Europe, and Africa. He's traveled for 16 years full-time, working with over 100 tourism boards and travel operators on all 7 continents, as well as being an ambassador for companies such as GoPro, Sony, and Kathmandu. Welcome. And our returning champion, Nour Brahimi, is the first female travel content creator in Algeria and one of the top travel content creators in the Middle East and North Africa, with around 5 million followers across all platforms. She shares unique travel experiences as a YouTuber and helps people go viral with videos as a consultant. Please welcome back Nour Brahimi as our returning champion. Woohoo. So we're going to talk a little bit this afternoon about the current state of travel creation and travel creators, and we might even get out our crystal ball and look into the future to see what we can tell about what comes next for us. So the first question I want to ask these travel experts, how do you and your content stay relevant in this current period?
All right, so I know most of people here do blogs. I mostly do YouTube and video format. So I think now with a lot of people creating content, a lot of people think it's hard to stay relevant now. But for me, I find it easier as people now are appreciating your own experience as a creator. So my experiences that are personal to me. I always tell people that there's a lot of people creating content now. So why would someone follow you or me or him or, you know, it's what makes you you. So people appreciate people and people trust people. And I think by being yourself and sharing experiences that are relevant to you, it's one of the best ways to stay relevant. I don't know what you guys think.
Yeah, no, I couldn't agree more. In this day and age of AI, as you guys are all seeing throughout the entire conference, the power of building a personal brand and delivering value and storytelling to your audience, whether it is through blogging or through video or whatever your chosen platform is essential to stay relevant. And also looking forward to see what's actually coming up, like to give like a business aspect to things. For example, when the Japan Olympics were coming on, and we all know what kind of happened with that with delays, but looking forward and saying, okay, there's something coming up, so I'm going to try to create like a huge event. I'm going to try and create content now that's going to be relevant in the future when things start ranking. And so like what we did with our business, for example, is we went all out on Japan content in the 18 months leading up to that, so that when it was ready, when people were traveling to Japan, we were relevant and we were kind of ahead of the game. But I do think it all comes back, especially now, to your point about being a personal brand and someone that people can connect with, because that's all people and brands and audiences are going to be looking for moving forward.
Yeah.
I feel like I should just say, I don't know. Like I'm on the stage, like Oprah wouldn't say that, but I feel like at this conference, talking to so many of you, like, and all the experts that are talking too, there's so much that's up in the air right now. And I think it's important to like give yourself some grace and like realizing that you may want to wait a couple months. Like I personally have told a lot of people I'm kind of waiting until Christmas because I have tons of travel plans. I'm going to be on the road for 7 months this year. So I've really appreciated all the experts I've met and people I've talked to. But it's also okay to not feel like you have to do something immediately when you get home. Like I like to make big Excel spreadsheets with lots of ideas and prepare at the holidays to like assess what the last year looked like, look at all my data, what stories were doing the best. So that's my first bit of advice. Don't freak out, because it can be easy to based on the things that have happened in our industry. But in terms of keeping relevant, I think about like since the pandemic hit and my first travel since the pandemic hit, I really decided to do long-term travel, which was kind of a part of what I talked in my session about. And so I'm planning on doing that moving forward to have more topical relevance and become more of an expert on my site in those areas. So I am based in Toronto, so this summer I'll be in Toronto for most of the year, and I have plans to write several articles to continue to create Toronto-related content, so I'm seen as an expert there. And also developing relationships with destinations that I know I love, where I know that in maybe 10 years I'll have 50, 60 articles in those destinations. So an example being that I spent 2 months in Thailand this past fall. I spent a month and a half the fall prior to that. I'm going to Thailand again this fall. I kind of like Thailand. So I've already got probably 80 stories on Thailand. And so find a place that if you're not from there, if you have a city that you live, but you have a destination that's close by, like I'm from Toronto, so that could be Montreal, where it's an easy bus or flight where you can plan 2 or 3 trips a year. Because as we just had Matt talk in the SEO session about how important it is to not just go on a trip for a week that a tourism board organizes, because I think we now know in the future that those articles maybe won't rank as well as they did in the past. So having a long-term action plan on the places that you love and trying to focus on how you can create more content over time in those areas.
Great, thank you for that. What do the three of you think is the biggest challenge for travel content creators right now, and how do you or would you overcome that challenge?
So I won't touch on AI and what's going on with Google updates or anything, because we're all aware of that. I think the biggest issue that we're all kind of facing right now is oversaturation in the content creation market, and it's because people see what we all do and they're inspired by it. So we should be excited that we're actually helping people. I won't, again, not influencing people, but we should be, people are inspired by what we're doing, and we've opened up all kinds of new opportunities through the tech world that we're all living in, and through social media and through blogging and YouTube, etc. And so what has resulted in that is that we have an oversaturated market. Everybody with a phone is now trying to be a quote-unquote influencer. I think there was something that came out a couple of months back that when students are asked what their #1 career goal is in the future, it's YouTube creator. It's not astronaut or engineer or doctor or anything. People want to be YouTube creators. So because of that, we have an oversaturation in the market, and there are a lot of people that are therefore just kind of chasing trends and doing the same thing over and over and over again. They see that something that's working really well for Nour, it's like, well, I want to do that. I want to jump on that bandwagon. So what we can do to navigate that is essentially kind of just look through the fog and the haze that's going on in social media, and then just trying to establish what our own value is and what our own unique selling points are, and like really trying to cut through that. And I think that's the biggest challenge we have right now. But there are so many new opportunities coming from that as well. Like, imagine if you had told a budding musician when they were growing up, like, don't worry about, you know, learning guitar or piano right now. All the best music's being done, you know, like, just give it up now. Like, the fact that there are so many people creating new things, and even though they might be jumping on the same trend, it also allows us all to be even more creative, because we're all now trying to find something new to do, you know, a new type of way to tell a story, or a new type of way to shoot a video, or to work with a brand. So even though that's, to me, like, that's the biggest challenge happening right now, excluding Google algorithm updates and Instagram algorithm updates, that it does also open up a whole new world. We're living in a crazy time right now. It's very, very exciting. That's what I think. I don't know, what do you guys think?
Yeah, I agree. And I think I'm glad you talked about the saturation in the market, because in the, at least creators industry. You know, when you talked about everyone kind of doing the same thing, when I started 7 years ago, I was there because you're new. So, and a lot of you here are new, and you're going to be like, oh, am I going to do the next maybe 10 things to do in San Sebastian? And maybe it's been created before. So I think don't be afraid to be there. It's okay. Asking the questions and asking yourself, what do I want to do? And then discovering it along the way. It will come. It took me a couple of years, many years, maybe 5, in my journey to figure out what works for me, what I enjoy doing, but also what my audience enjoys doing that's really unique to me and to them. So yeah, it's saturated, but there's, like you said, there's still room for us creators to do things that have not been done, that are unique to us. So don't be afraid to explore.
And I think for challenges, so many people need to focus more on really thinking about what makes them unique, and diversity. For me, as an example, for the longest time, pitching brands and trying to find new revenue streams, I didn't really think or want to talk about the things about me that were unique. And I'm hearing impaired and wear hearing aids. I had never written about it before. There's a lot of shame around disability. But then started talking about it, and I've been working with Apple for the last 8 years. I wrote a story that was one of my favorites to write, where Apple gave me an iPhone, an Apple Watch, I had new hearing aids, and I did a road trip on a moped, which is not my jam. It felt unsafe. But left one hotel, drove what felt like through a hot oven in Koh Samui to get to the Four Seasons, arrived at the Four Seasons, and the whole time I could use my Apple Watch to look at the directions, and Surrey spoke in my ears, so I felt very safe. So that's a story that, I mean, if you don't have hearing disability, you wouldn't think about it, but that was something I never thought about before, and it was one of the most impactful stories I ever wrote. Apple's PR team shared it with their whole global corporate team as an example of what a story. So that was quite impactful for me to hear that feedback from I was the first person to write about how those 2 bits of tech, 3 bits of tech, hearing aids, iPhone, and Apple Watch, can help people safely travel in a destination. And I'd never been on a moped. My dad's a doctor and told me never to get on a motorcycle. So Yeah, that's an example. I'm also LGBT and right for the LGBT community, and so by opening up about that and talking about that in the earlier part of my career, it's opened up so many opportunities for brands that are really keen to support my community. So during Pride every year, I've been sponsored by Absolute Vodka, Stolichnaya Vodka, every vodka, and partner with banks and phone companies that all want to be part of our community and help support us. So think of those things too if you haven't in the past.
All right, thank you. Let's move on to the next question. What advice would you give to the travel creators in this room about brands that they want to work with and how they should best approach them?
Okay, so my advice for people who are looking to pitch, I'll give some real actionable advice right now, is find the right contact. And that might seem like quite obvious, but if you're looking to work with a tourism board or a tour operator or a camera company or a clothing company, whatever, vodka company, for example, know that there's different departments that make different decisions and can also unlock budgets. So we were actually talking about this earlier. Let's say you want to work with the Tourism Board of Spain and you've reached a level in your career where you only take on paid campaigns. First of all, congratulations, that's amazing. But you're pitching the PR person at Tourism Spain. You found their details on LinkedIn, you're pitching the head of PR, hey, really keen to travel to Spain, want to work on a campaign, here are my rates, etc. The PR person's job is to get earned media. If you don't know what earned media means, it's basically, the way I look at it, free advertising. They're trying to get journalists for traditional media to write about them for free. And so they might invite you to come to the destination, or they might send you a bag if you're trying to pitch a luggage company, for example. But if you're trying to unlock those budgets, they don't have budget. They're not assigned a budget to pay people or to fly you across the world or send you 10 different bags to review, for example. If you get in touch with the marketing person might have a huge budget, and they could tap into the right people. And so that's one thing I'd like to give a lot of advice to, is don't just send a generic email to media at destinationcanada.com and think they're going to pay you 20 grand to fly to Quebec City, for example. That's just not going to happen. But if you find the right person and you have the right value proposition that you're going to send to them, you can really unlock some huge unique deals. And also make sure that you have a unique selling point, like why should that brand work with you and not someone else that might come in with a larger audience or with maybe a cheaper rate. So finding a unique selling point, and then also just, for me, it's also really about defining what your brand is and what value you're really going to give that destination with tangible ROI, if you've got examples of that. So building case studies when you're pitching brands is really good. Hey, hey GoPro, love your cameras, would love to work with you. Here's an example of some stuff I've done with Insta360 in the past, and here are the results we got on the last campaign, etc. Make the marketing person's job easy to say yes to you. So that's what I would say. Personalize every kind of email as well. And networking, coming to events like this and chatting to people from Tourism Spain, Tourism San Sebastian, for example, and not just purely being about business, engage with people and be friends with them and have good conversations, because they're going to remember that more than you just walking up and saying, hey, here's my business card, you should work with me.
True. Yeah, I want to add a point that's maybe going to be helpful, especially maybe to the new creators, long-term and short-term. One of the things that's going to be really tempting when working with brands is to say yes to money, to say yes to everything. So one thing maybe you can take away with you when you leave this conference is talk to yourself, sit with yourself and know what your values are, what you believe in, and think about your brand long-term. Who do I want to put my name with long-term, short-term? Money is going to be tempting, but ask yourself what your values are, and only work with brands that align with what your values are. And yeah, I mean, it's never good to, because I see a lot of creators who get tempted, and then, for example, on Instagram, you see their stories, all the stories are just ads, and your audience is going to feel like you're just using them, and then you lose your credibility. So, yeah, that's my advice.
I'm pausing because I'm thinking of the best to say. I mostly work with hotels these days, and my favorite thing about staying at hotels is the friendships that you develop with, like typically I check into a hotel, the PR person gives me a tour, and if I'm traveling alone, they're like, we'll meet you for dinner. I love asking about why they love the destination, tell me all about your hotel. You could become friends with the person, and I always love to talk shop, because in our industry, like I work from home, like probably a lot of you, I don't have a partner or any team that I work with, so I'm in my head a lot about how my business is going and how can you like, other than conferences like this where you can kind of spitball about things, I love asking about my competition, which is essentially everyone in this room who writes about hotels, perhaps. And I love so I was in Thailand, visited over 30 hotels over the course of 2 months, and I asked every PR person what differentiates me. Why did you choose me to stay at this hotel compared to everyone else that pitches you? The Four Seasons Bangkok PR person said they get 1,000 pitches a month from influencers and journalists, and they host like 2 to 3 a month, including local. So I was like, oh wow, that's just, you have to really think about how many pitches certain brands receive. And I said, what's the one thing that differentiated me from all the emails you're getting? And they said, your professionalism. So think about that. When you're emailing people, I mean, in my talk, I hope it was helpful. Like I really broke down the pitch email I send, give people a great media kit that explains who you are, let them know in the email that you're sending them exactly what you want to do the content and that you need, like how many days do you need to stay there, what do you need from them. Wow, that was a real dog,
He
right?
agrees with you.
Yeah. Member
The dog agrees.
Yeah. What was I talking about? That bark really put me off my scoop. But yeah, think about professionalism, and because that was the one thing that consistently I'm told that, you know, I'm really detailed on my emails. I plan my press trips really far in advance. I don't request to go on a trip during high season. All of these things really distinguish you and let if it's a tourism board or hotel, know that they're working with someone that is serious and that we're going to want to work with. So that's me rambling. There, thank you.
All right, thank you. So what suggestions do you have for the content creators in the room for planning their business for the next 12 months?
Ooh.
I love planning. Really, you should fall in love with Excel spreadsheets. I really highly recommend planning. If you travel anyway like I do, like I do regional trips where usually 3 parts of the world I visit for 2 to 3 months at a time. Plan in advance, research what festivals are happening next year, if you like hotels, research what new hotel openings are happening. A really great thing is to go on a tour. If you work with tourism boards, go on their websites and like go on their YouTube channel and see what is the latest like marketing campaign they're promoting. If it's a good example is I'm going to a region called Gaspésie in Quebec, near Quebec City, and they this year have a campaign promoting the local food products that are made in Gaspésie, from lobster, all this great seafood, and cheese and maple syrup. And so the fact that I'm a food writer based in Toronto, it's a very popular destination for people in the city that I'm from. I pitched them, and it was like a really easy sell. So really highly recommend going on a tourism board's website to better learn about what they're trying to promote, and it gives you a great gateway into reaching out to them.
Well, I'm not as organized. I usually plan my trips last minute, but when I do, it's, with YouTube, it's different because I have a couple of series on YouTube, and the way I like to do my work is plan content to film for a month, and then I'm back home and I edit, so it gives me more time to produce the content that I have. I find it better. I find it like you're tired and you're tired all at once, and you have your content ready. So that's the way I do it. Yeah.
So Dave, the question, 12 months for travel or 12 months looking at the business?
You can decide which one.
Because if anyone came to my talk yesterday, I'm very much about treating your brand as a business. And anyone that came along would have heard me talk about things like SOPs and automations and like technically like boring things, right? Not necessarily going out and creating amazing videos or taking beautiful photos of hotels. But I think if we're looking at the next 12 months, we need to realize that we are in a pivotal shift right now. We're all experiencing it. We don't know what the industry is going to look like in 12 months, but that's not a bad thing. Like, we all work in the tech industry. The tech industry is moving rapidly, and it always has been. So to think that what is working today or was working 12 months ago is going to be working in 12 months' time is the wrong way to look at it. Instead, we need to be looking at what opportunities lie in 12 months' time. And if you're trying to do this as a full-time career, you need to be appreciative that whatever you're working on now is going to change, and you need to be 3 steps ahead of that. And you've all got incredible skills right now. If you are working as a content creator, a travel creator, you're a social media manager, you're a video creator, you're a marketer, you're a salesperson, you're an expert at branding. You guys have got some incredibly valuable skills. Like, these are the kind of jobs that, like, one of those social media managers, you can get a job in Australia getting paid $100,000, $120,000 a year doing that. Like, you guys are incredibly talented. So don't just get comfortable going, okay, well, I'm just going to keep making the same trendy videos on TikTok that are working now, because it might change. I'm not going to, like, for us, we went heavy on SEO content and we made a lot of money doing it, but we're not going to write about things to do in San Sebastian and 3 days in Barcelona anymore, because it's not going to work anymore. And that's okay, that's fine. You just need to be thinking ahead and being willing to progress. I'm eternally optimistic about what the future of all of our industry looks like. I'm not about doom and gloom. I think we are all in an incredible position to make insane amounts of money and change the travel industry for the better. We are living in a wild time right now, and wild in a good way. So that would be my advice to people. If you're looking at the next 12 months, don't just look at your Google Analytics just dropping and going, oh, the end of the world is here. I better go get a part-time job, or whatever. Look at it and go, okay, things are changing. What's going to work moving forward? That's my belief, and that's what I like to tell people. Be happy, be excited, and be willing to evolve with the industry. Because if you guys are ahead of everyone else, you're all going to be millionaires and changing the world in the most incredible way. You're going to be influencing people with sustainable tourism, or how to approach brands in the right way. You're all trendsetters. You're all leaders in your industry. Whether you're doing this full-time or not, you're already so many steps ahead of everyone else. So be optimistic, be positive, and just look forward to what the world has to come.
Very nice. Ooh, we're all going to be rich. Let's end this by staying positive with one last question, which is, what is your optimistic take on the future of travel content creation?
I'm going to say something that's been said a lot in the conference, and I'm happy it's been said. Videos are the future. So my session is about videos, so yep. Yeah. Videos are the future, and it's great because now if I talk about platforms, every platform wants you to be there as a creator to create videos, so they are going to be pushing your content. And I'm glad, like, I'm going to add on something that Jarryd said. He said, the field and the industry is changing all the time, and good for us, because 7 years ago when I started, it was very hard to get my content seen, to get to new people. So now it's much easier. Every year it's actually much easier. So the change is not always bad. Maybe at least in the beginning people would think that, but it's not always bad. So and also we are in a great time again. Maybe the algorithms will change in the future for all platforms. Maybe it will be harder to reach people. So use what you know now and be there. Don't be afraid to start.
I'm excited to spend the summer in Toronto. I'm writing a story on the best happy hours in Toronto, and I have 45 restaurants I have to visit in July and August.
If you
that
need
are
help
booked.
with that research, just...
And anyone in Toronto in the summer, give me a holler. So that's my future. And I'm excited about it. It can be overwhelming. This conference is full of positive impacts, but also I have so many notes, and I can't wait to spend a day just thinking about all the advice that I've been given. But it's time to process that, and I'm excited to make a plan. I think once, I don't know anybody of you, but you get lots of things in your head. Once I can make a list of the things that I can work on, I'm excited to better focus. I think focusing on a niche or focusing on a particular city or area of interest is something that people will really excel at, and so I'm looking forward to continue staying at luxury hotels.
Not bad. Continue to do what you guys are great at, and continue to stay passionate and keep creating, because as long as you love what you're doing and you're making a living from it, it's an amazing place to be in. The future, as I said, it's great, it's positive, it's different, but you guys are entrepreneurs are visionaries, You can also change what your future looks like. You can be looking at trends, and I do agree with Nour that video, if you're not doing video, it is the future. Like, it is what it is. I don't think blogs are going anywhere. I don't think publishing is going anywhere. I think the biggest takeaway that we have all experienced is that the art of storytelling is going to continue to be more and more powerful than ever, especially in the day of AI. And if you're a long-term travel writer or a journalist or a filmmaker, you know that the story is the key to everything. And that is what the future holds for all of us. And you can tell stories in a whole variety of ways, through photography, through articles, through public speaking, podcasting. And video is really the future until something else will come along, until it's VR. But keep just doing what you're loving. Be passionate. Stay positive.
All right, excellent advice from our TBEX travel creators, rock stars. Big hand for the three of you. Thank you. And now we're going to hand the mic back over to Rick so he can put this Basque baby to bed.
All right. David, thank you, David. Let's give everybody a big round of applause. David Farley, Nour Brahimi, Jarryd Salem, Andrew Dobson, thank you so much. Thank you, guys. That is it. We have speed networking. Let's finish up strong, and let's have a great time tonight, all right? Thank you, everyone, so much. We'll see you out there.